I'm glad to be back on stage, man. I've been quarantined for 8 months. It was awful. I've been doing nothing but watching documentaries on serial killers. Have you seen these guys? My God, white people have won that battle. My roommate's actually white, and he's like, this is racist. Not all white people are serial killers. I'm like, well... It looks like all serial killers are white here, buddy. We're on season 14. Come on, you know what I'm saying? It's a clean sweep. Let's go. And I feel bad because white people are actually the only people in the world that can be serial killers. There's no other ethnicity in the world that can get away with 8 unsolved murders in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think black people want to be serial killers? Of course they do. They cannot. Could you imagine a black serial killer? He would get pulled over on the way to getting supplies. He hasn't even done anything yet. Come on. Indians, Asians, Hispanics, we can't be serial killers. Our family's way too nosy. My mom's an old Indian lady. She's a snitch. My mom will just show up. Where is the rope? What happened to the duct tape? Where is the bleach? I'm calling the cops. I'm like, come on, Mom, you raised me. Don't do this. I'm your son. Come on. The quarantine sucked for all comedians. We all went broke. When you're broke, it's tough to pay bills even if you have money. There are too many passwords.
I know.
How are we supposed to remember this? I got the Verizon bill last week. I had to crack the Da Vinci Code to pay this. It took too long. I have the bill in front of me. I called them up. I'm like, what's up, Verizon? It's me, Kabir Singh. Let's do this. Come on. They're like, what's your account number? I'm like, 478-9432. Where do you live? 2000 Walnut Avenue. What's your date of birth? 12/30/84. Then he's like, what's your bill pay password? I was like, you... I was like, I don't know what that is, and I think you know that I don't know what that is. Let me just pay this. He's like, I cannot. I need your bill pay password. I need to make sure it's you. I'm like, who's out there paying other people's bills? Come on. That was fun. It was an absolute honor performing for you guys. Thank you.
Now he's holding my license, and he goes, Michael, can you confirm the month and date of your birth? I go, yeah, sure, it's December 10th. And he goes, December 10th? And you know when a police officer says the thing that you just said back to you, and you just lose all confidence in your answers? That's what happened to me. I was like, I don't know, could be July 19th. Who knows? I thought that was my birthday, but I've never been sure of anything less. So, would love to change it to whatever you think the answer is, sir. Can I call a friend? I don't know. I'm panicking. And he's like, well, I'm asking you this because you have a failure to appear in court for another speeding ticket you got. So why don't you tell us about that? And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. He goes, really? Really? You know nothing about that? Really? And I go, no, I swear to God. He's like, you're telling me that the fucking computer is lying to me? Like, he starts screaming at me. I turn into Kermit the Frog. I'm like, ah! My arms are shaking. I'm wiggling. I don't know what I'm doing.
When it comes to race, no one gets offended like white people. Oh my God. For example, my gardener is Mexican, and if I assumed he liked tequila, my sister would be like, why? Because he's Mexican. But my gardener would be like, why? You got some?
I was in an office building a couple weeks ago. There's a stand at the elevators on the ground floor. The up button is pushed. A man walks up next to me and goes, excuse me, are these the elevators that go up? No. These go side to side. The up ones are down the hall. He walked away. Here's your sign. I went elk hunting a couple years ago, got me a nice bull elk, had him out on the wall of my den, and my neighbor, who I love to death, but he's just dumber than a bag of rocks. We had been in the den drinking beer and shooting pool for about an hour before he finally looked up on the wall and saw the head and went, oh man, I didn't see that. Did you shoot that thing? I said, nope, just ran through the wall and got stuck. Here's your sign.
You know what I hate about Asian parents? They're so honest. Like, they have no filter. They have no editing system. Whatever they think, they say. This is my dad. Good morning, Dad. You look ugly today. You look horrible. Don't go outside. You are ugly. You made me, motherfucker. When I was in high school, I used to bring girls into my house, right? I would introduce them to my dad. My dad would tell them stories about me, like secrets. Like dark shit. Hey, Dad, this is Stephanie. When Bobby was a little kid, he ate the dog poop in the front lawn. I said, hey, don't eat that. He said, I only had one piece. Nice to meet you, you know. He still does it today. Hey, Dad, this is Cindy. When we lived in Minnesota, Bobby was molested by a retarded guy. I said, how did he get molested by a retard? I don't know.
I had a guy on OkCupid send me an emoji as an opening line. Not a cute one, not like a heart or a kissy face or even an eggplant, which is gross, but I get it. He sent me one of these. And I responded, because I was like, I gotta make sure this guy doesn't hurt anybody. So I wrote back and I said, does this work for you? Do people respond because they're confused? Are you negging me? What's happening here? And he goes, well, the way a woman responds to the emoji tells me a lot about her character. And I said, all right, Detective Douche Rocket. What does my response tell you about my character? And he goes, well, it tells me you're really transparent, honesty's super important to you, and you have trouble trusting people. That emoji works.
It seems like most of the time my white friends give their dogs human names. Black people, not so much. If you're a white person with a dog, just raise your hand if you're a white person with a dog. We've got a young lady right here. Okay, we're gonna go right here. Awesome. What kind of dog do you have?
A boxer pit mix.
And what's your dog's name?
Skylar.
Thanks for playing along. I need a black person with a dog. I need a black person with a dog. First of all, notice how many hands are not going up. I think there's a brother right there. Let me go with this brother right there. What's your name, bro? What's your name?
It's Warren.
Warren. Okay, Warren. What kind of dog you got first? What kind is it?
Border Collie.
What's your dog's name?
Macy.
Why you messing this up right now, bro? Where'd you get the dog from?
She actually just showed up.
My childhood cat, Callie, died, and I texted my friend Jenna the news of Callie's death. But what I didn't realize was that autocorrect changed the name Callie into Kelly, which is the name of our best friend. Yeah. Since I didn't realize the name had changed, this is the text conversation we had. Hey, Jenna, I've got some sad news. Kelly's dead. What? What happened? She got hit by a car. Oh my God! Did you call an ambulance? I already buried her.
Women are so interesting when they break up with a guy because they have to sugarcoat it because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you know? So it always comes out like, listen, like, I think you're awesome, but let's be friends. But I think you're awesome. I think a doctor should give you bad news the same way. Like, listen, like, I think you're healthy. To me, you're in perfect condition. But this paper says you have tapeworms. I don't think you have tapeworms. But this test, which is 100% accurate, says you do.
The only problem I have with my girl sometimes are her friends. I don't like her friends because they're haters. They are. Look at the guys clapping. Yeah, I know, man. It sucks. Every time I leave the house and I go out of town for the weekend, they show up and they start throwing little monkey wrenches in there, you know.
So, he's not here?
Where is he? How come you're not with him? What's the story? What's the deal? How long have you been together now? You're not engaged? You're not married? What's up? Is he gonna adopt Frankie? What's the word? What's going on? How come you don't have a ring? Norma has a ring and she's a puta. How come you don't have a ring? So, I'll get these messed up phone calls at like 2 in the morning when I'm on the road, right? Hello? Baby? Yeah? Are you okay? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Nothing. I'm just here at the house watching Cheaters. Great. Oh, wow. Did you see that? I almost fell. Woo. If I fall now, show's over. Yeah, there'll be people outside. We're standing here live in front of the Plaza Theater where authorities believe Fluffy lost control. 7 people were reported injured, 3 were rushed to the hospital. Authorities had this to say. Damn!
My wife likes to leave random notes around the house on things that shouldn't write notes. Like she has notes on my shoes saying, put me away, don't belong here. When I flew out a couple weeks ago, there was a note on my blender that read, Dear John, I'd appreciate it if you rinse me out after you're done using me. Rude. Blender. Hashtag now. So I replied to the blender. Dear Blender, I find it curious you know cursive and yet can't clean yourself. The hands used to write this could have put your in the dishwasher. We all contribute differently, hashtag money. Hey, keep in mind, people, I was talking to the blender. I would never talk to my wife that way.
What's the dumbest question that you've gotten at Target?
Do I work here?
Hold on a second. Do I work here? Is that somebody? I'm imagining something like just somebody coming up to you, like, "Excuse me, do I work here? I don't have the red shirt, but do I work here?" And then what happens in that conversation after somebody comes up and they go, "Excuse me, do you work here?" Person in red shirt that says Target. You looked down at your name tag? You passive aggressive bitch. Excuse me, do you work here? Like your fucking lips purse up, they have to. There's no way. You can't not purse your lips when you can't be like, you got